come, though, our main event. Another rematch. 122 pounds, Paulie Ayala looks to make it 2 wins in a row over Clarence Bones Adams. That's coming up. Let's take a look at some highlights of the first time these two met back in August of last year. And in the second round, it was that left hook to the chin from Paulie Ayala that caught Bones Adams, and Adams desperately tried to hang on. Ayala coming back with more in the second round. All 3 judges scored it a 10-8 round. But Adams was able to stabilize himself, throwing hard shots, but also doing more boxing, moving around the ring. Intense action all the way through. In the 11th, a headbutt, though, from Paulie Ayala opens up a big gash over the left eye of Bones Adams. But Adams wouldn't surrender. And in the 12th round, it was all Bones Adams. Paulie Ayala's corner told him he had won the fight. Adams doing everything he can, winning 10-9 on all 3 judges' scorecards, but it was Ayala taking the close split decision. Paulie Ayala is no stranger to close decisions. His last 6 fights have gone the full 12 championship rounds, and each time it's been Ayala who's come out victorious. Now, he says he doesn't get enough credit for his defense. He says he blocks most of those shots, but opponents say they scream of favoritism, and Bones Adams, Emmanuel, is one of those opponents who screams of favoritism. Bones came into the last fight deciding to be a puncher and not his normal boxing self. He thought he won the fight. Many people believe he did win the fight. Should he change anything tonight?
Well, first we'll go to his favoritism. He said the reason that he's also being persecuted so much is a lot because he's a white boy. It's a minority in boxing today, in particular, with the fact that the Hispanics are getting such ratings on TV. So he's endangered species, so to say. But I think that he will come in and try to box more tonight. I think that Bones is going to try to change up, and he may not do much better than Johnson did when Johnson tried to box tonight. I think that Ayala is going to come in and put a lot of pressure on him with those sort of short punches, trying to crowd him. And Bones is going to have to punch a little bit. He's going to have to do what he did to some degree the last fight. One of the big factors that bothers me a lot is the butt factor in this fight. I think it's still going to be a good chance that there's going to be some accidental butts. And based on the head position when those 2 guys collide, I think most of the time it's probably going to favor Ayala.
Bones says he felt he won that first fight by at least 3 rounds. Larry Merchant, Paulie Ayala's last 4 decisions could easily be disputed. Is it a coincidence or just luck?
Let me return to the wisdom of Muhammad Ali. After part man, part fish, Mark Spitz won 7 gold medals in the 1972 Olympics, Muhammad Ali once asked me rhetorically, how come in a sport that usually ends with one swimmer going this way and the other swimmer coming right after him that way, Mark Spitz is always the first touch? The question answers itself, and it also answers the question about Paulie Ayala. He wins close decisions because he stays in top condition. He fights every minute of every round. He is usually the aggressor, so he gets the benefit of the doubt in close rounds. That's not a coincidence, and it's not luck.
Ayala says he feels stronger for this fight. He says he looked like he was at least 2 weight classes lower than Bones Adams the first time around. All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this sensational rematch between Paulie Ayala and Clarence Bones Adams. Ayala 4 years older than Adams. Both fighters the same height, both fighters enjoying the same reach. Ayala weighed in at 122, Bones Adams a ½ pound less. And when they stepped on our unofficial HBO scales, both fighters weighed in at 133 pounds. Punch Stat numbers now with Larry Merchant.
In their first fight, you can see that Adams was more active and landed more punches. In the power punch department, he landed many more power punches according to our statistics, which is why most people thought he had won the fight.
rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Paulie Ayala Clarence Bones Adams fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Fran.
Clarence Bones Adams says he's bad to the bone. Bones Adams started boxing when he was 5 years old. He turned pro at the early age of 15. And we talked about the great condition that Ayala's always in. Adams says he can gain up to 30 pounds in between fights, but once he sits down to train, he's serious, and he's in serious shape, he says tonight.
Bone cultivates his image as a hillbilly, but he's one of those country boys who's a country slicker.
You hear how the crowd feels. Let's take a closer look at Bones Adams.
Bones Adams has been in a flap with the commission here over temporary advertisements on his back for some kind of betting service. He had to go to the state Supreme Court to get approval, and they gave him approval as a free speech right. He gets $50,000, and according to him, every time he wins, he'll get twice as much money, which means if he wins 10 straight, he'll own the betting service and the island that it lives on. He is, however, injury prone. He's had both shoulders, both sides of his jaws, both hands hurt, and he's also been cut up. His ambition, one of the oddest we've ever heard from a fighter, to become a cut man after he retires, because he says he only likes to spend a limited amount of time among fighters because they are all jerks, including himself.
Well, here's one guy who may dispute that. Paulie Ayala making his way to the ring. Ayala started boxing when he was 4 years old. He says he had over 300 amateur fights. He says he expects Bones Adams to change his style this evening and try to box him more as opposed to standing straight with him, as Emmanuel Stewart also suggests.
You see his wife behind him. She tapes all of his press conferences, gets tapes of all of his fights. They have a vast, almost presidential library filled with tapes from the start of his professional career. I gave the walk-in to Ayala 5'8" to 5'7" on creativity.
He told us that his 2-year-old daughter picked out his walkout sound. It certainly doesn't sound that way this evening as he walks in.
Yeah, I asked him if it was Itsy Bitsy Spider. He said it was some kind of church rock music.
Larry, a closer look now at Paulie Ayala.
Paulie Ayala has been with the same trainers, managers, promoters, and wife for 10 years. It's odds against any one of those with any prize fighter. He has all 4. That's the stability he has, and that's what led him suddenly to become Fighter of the Year in 1999 after he defeated Johnny Tapia. He's had a change of mind about rematches. He says he used to hate them because he had to fight one guy as an amateur 16 times. But since he got paid so well for the rematch with Tapia and now the rematch with Adams, he's come to love them.
For the official introductions, let's send it in to ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino of Las Vegas, Mr. Bob Arum and his Top Rank Incorporated proudly present 12 rounds of boxing for the IBO Super Bantamweight Championship of the World. Brought to you in association with the King of Beers, Budweiser, and sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission Chairman Dr. Luther Mack. The scoring will be done on a 10-point must system, and the 3 judges assigned to ringside will be Dwayne Ford, Patricia Jarman Manning, and Paul Smith. And when the referee steps into the ring in charge of the action, he will be Kenny Bayless. And now from the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas, for the heroes of emergency service, police, and fire departments, and for the members of the armed forces of the United States of America, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue, black, and white, and weighing in at 121 1/2 pounds. In 48 professional contests, he has 41 victories, including 19 knockouts and 4 defeats with 3 bouts even. From Henderson, Kentucky, here is the challenger, the former WBA junior featherweight champion of the world, known as the People's Champion, Clarence "Bones" Adams. And